Now that we've gone over what foods you should eat, let's go over what foods you shouldn't eat. Because this approach obviously is not complete unless you know what foods you need to cut out as well as bring in. If you want to tame your type 1, then you need to stop eating all the foods that spike your blood sugar so high. If you stop the root of the problem, then you're no longer going to have that problem. And if you stop eating all the foods that spike your blood sugar so high, suddenly you're not going to have those huge spikes anymore, and you'll have much better blood sugar. So what food spikes your blood sugar? Well, there's three main categories: grains, starches, and sweets. Grains would include stuff like rice, bread, pasta, cereals, and yes, even the whole grain varieties, even the oats, those are grains too. Just because someone says they're healthy for you doesn't mean they are. They'll still spike your blood sugar nonetheless. Those kind of grains are bad news. You need to cut them out. Starches would include stuff like potatoes, corn, and other very high carb vegetables such as beans. These will spike your blood sugar as well, and you want to avoid those completely. Sweets would include anything that's sweet, because anything that's sweet is going to contain a lot of sugar, and that sugar is going to make your blood sugar spike. Sweets would include, obviously, candy and soda, but even stuff that seems healthy, such as fruit and fruit juice, that will spike your blood sugar as well, and you will want to avoid that. Especially you want to avoid the cupcakes, the candy bars, all of that nonsense junk food is not going to be good for you. And I know you might be thinking, well, I need to treat myself. Trust me, you're going to be treating yourself by having better blood sugars and living a healthy life. You don't need these sweets to be happy and to be healthy. You can cut out the cookies, you can cut out the sweets, and you'll be just fine. Now, you might be thinking, but Justin, I was told I should eat bread. Also, I should have a certain amount of carbs, and low carb is dangerous, but this is all wrong. You don't need these carbs. There is no such thing as an essential carbohydrate, whether it be from bread, or whether it be from potatoes, or so on. You don't need them. You can cut them out and get all the nutrients you need from the meats, from the low carb vegetables, from the nuts and berries, and you'll be just fine. You don't need these carbs. You can cut them out, whether they're whole grain or not. They're going to spike your blood sugar, and that's going to be a big problem. And I want you to keep something in mind. I consider the grains and the starches the same way I consider the sweets. Obviously, you need to cut the sweets because of the sugar. But did you know that the carbs from the grains and the carbs from the starches turn into sugar very quickly in your bodies? So essentially, you are eating a lot of sugar when you are eating a lot of carbs. If you know you shouldn't be eating a lot of sugar, then you should understand you can't be having these carbs either. You need to cut them out. So once again, you need to cut out the grains, such as bread and rice. You need to cut out the starches, such as potatoes and corn. And you need to cut out the sweets. Those are the three main carb groups you need to cut out in order to tame type 1. And I also like to make a quick footnote about vegetable oil. Vegetable oil has no carbs, and it is actually very common in a lot of different things, such as store-bought dressings, mayonnaise, all sorts of junk food out there, all sorts of processed food uses vegetable oil. And if you get anything fried at a restaurant, it uses vegetable oil. But guys, you need to cut it out. Vegetable oil is an industrial-made, factory-made fat that we have only been eating since the middle of the last century. It is very unhealthy for you for a lot of reasons, and I'll go into that in a different video. But guys, seriously, try to cut that out as best as you can, and instead stick to the animal fats, because those are going to be much better for you. So once again, cut out the grains, cut out the starches, cut out the sweets, cut out the vegetable oil, and you'll be on your way to taming type 1 and on your way to much better health. We're going to wrap up in the final video and go over some low-carb alternatives you can have so you don't miss these high-carb foods too much, and you can still enjoy foods and, keep yourself satisfied while keeping it low-carb and while taming type 1.